6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what is up people? Welcome back to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. All of that does really help out. Share it with your friends, and of course check out the channel memberships below if you do want to watch pre-recorded members only videos, trade ideas, trade signals as well. So if you are interested in supporting and following the channel further, check out the channel memberships. They are in the description below. But I hope everyone is doing good this Thursday. I was about to say Friday, this Thursday morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the stream, Yoshi. Hope you're doing good. What is up, CS? As always, hope you're doing good. Good morning to everyone. So as always, guys, we'll go through a bunch of markets. But first, I do want to talk about CAD Yen because, as you can see on the screen, I do find myself in a position. So we're going to break that down, what I'm expecting from this position, what the plan behind it is, how we're looking to manage the trade, so on and so forth. There are some other markets which I'm interested in as well, especially intraday. I do like USD to the upside. I'm just unsure if I'll get the pullback I'm after, but I'll be ready and waiting if we do. And a few other markets as well. I was out yesterday, so I wasn't actually able to take any trades or actually look at the market, and I did kind of miss my entry on the recovery of pound yen. So we'll talk about that as well. But at the moment, I currently am in a long position on CAD Yen. I really like the setup for this one. Technically, on the intraday, it looks like a very clean setup. A bit of bearish momentum on the 4-hour chart, which is a slight red flag. The reason I'm bullish is because I'm looking to follow the overall structure of the market, which is still pretty bullish. You can see it better on the daily chart. Still trending to the upside. I'm still very bearish on the yen itself. So I'm still looking for primarily weakness in the yen and opportunities to long the yen crosses. CAD Yen was one of the yen pairs which I did like. I did prefer dollar yen or pound yen, but like I said, I was out yesterday, so I actually missed those two currency pairs, but we can review them in a moment. But CAD Yen was shaping up very nicely intraday. They all had very similar price action intraday across the board for the yen pairs. CAD Yen set up well in terms of my entry. Take profit, not exactly any crazy risk reward here, just looking for a push back to the next high, which is over here. So that's 109.298. I may leave a little bit to trickle because, again, I do have that long-term bullish bias on the yen crosses, so I'll do my best to see if I can take advantage of that. But essentially, I'm looking at price sweeping out these lows. We've done a good job at that. Create some lows here. That was on Wednesday. Price took out that low, had a nice recovery, bit of a consolidation overnight. And then coming into the London session, we saw a lot of momentum push down. We came back to retest this prior high, also really a nice area of demand. We took out this low, and then my entry was on the recovery of that low there. So as price regained that low, that was my sign to go long, to say, okay, price has swept the low, we've recovered it. So basically looking at a fake out. Stop loss underneath the wick low there with a bit of wick room, just in case we do come back down and test that zone again. I want to give myself a bit of buffer room. And now I'm looking to see if we can get a push back to the highs there, and now see maybe if I can take a small position to continue, but I'll take most of my profit at the high. So that's essentially the plan with CAD Yen, just looking for the continuation of this bullish momentum. Like I said, the only red flag with this position is that we do have a pretty bearish move against us. So of course, the overall up move is still in play. I'm very much still looking at this down move as a pullback of that up move. Not quite test the 50, but has come into a nice vicinity of it. more so tested this low here, the prior week's low, has that's a nice support. So the only thing I don't like about the position is that momentum. So I have taken that into account with my risk, but I like the structure. 15 looks really good. If the yen is going to be weak, there is a lot of room to the upside. Now, like I said, being very bullish on the yen crosses. I was keeping a close eye on pound yen, but I was out yesterday, so there was I wasn't at my desk, so I don't like taking trades when I'm away from my desk, because again, outside other things are happening, difficult to manage the position as well. And of course, in terms of just finding the entry, you might be busy. So I don't like taking trades when I am away. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I try to avoid it. But in terms of pound yen, I was talking about the recovery of this low here yesterday. So I said if price can get back above that low, which to be honest, I wasn't actually too sure if we would do that, because of course pound was looking pretty weak at the time, but things have shifted a bit on pound. Yen's lost a bit of its strength as well. So that did give us a nice push to the upside. I mean, just about closed above. So essentially, this would have been my entry here as price just closed back above that, stops underneath that low, and again looking for a continuation back to the high here. And this area would have been my first kind of area to manage the position, book some profits. Could even look at that high there as well. But the reason why I like this trade, because again, I'm staying in tune with the higher time frame trend at play. Pound yen is still very bullish, very consistent with the higher highs and higher lows here. Basically coming back to fill most of that gap as well. That's acting like an added confluence to the trade. So there's a lot of confluences lining up here for for pound yen long. So a little bit unfortunate it wasn't there to take the position. I mean, would be in only a slight amount of profit at the moment, but this does have some mileage. So again, the thing is with the 4-hour time frame, for this swing to play out, there's going to be a lot of pullbacks. There's going to be a lot of development between now and price hitting that high, if it is going to hit that high, of course. So I'm not too worried about missing that entry, because there should be at least one or maybe two opportunities intraday to take advantage of some long-term pound yen, especially if momentum does pick up. So the plan is, okay, we've missed that first opportunity. Now I can scale down to maybe a 15 hourly chart and look for opportunities along the way. I will be a bit careful though, because this is a very noisy area. So I'm gonna have to be very selective with my trades. The reason why I like this opportunity a lot is because I'm away from all of the noise here. This is where people are getting whipped back and forth. Some messy entries, messy stop losses. The beauty of this entry here is that you're right at the extreme, right at the low of the range, and you've also got a stop loss all the way down here. So if price is going to hit your stop loss, well, probably in the wrong direction anyway. So the odds of you kind of getting faked out, wicked out is very, very slim. Versus in here, you can have that a bunch of times and give back a lot of profits to the market. So the entry was really good, the stop loss in a good location, and the risk reward makes sense as well. So it's a nice opportunity. Therefore, because I've missed that, I'm going to see if I can find some opportunities on the way up. Something like this, of course, very hypothetical. We'll see how price does develop, but that is what my interest will be for pound yen. And in terms of dollar yen, so I said dollar yen was another yen pair I was going to be focused on a lot, primarily because I'm still looking at a very bullish USD, and I'm still looking at a pretty okay, looks like we're back. Apologies, ladies and gents, some technical difficulties, but it looks like we are back. Let me know if the connection is lagging or playing up, because I can switch to a different network. But yeah, as I was mentioning with dollar yen's another USD pair and yen pair, which I am very much interested in. It's just, again, didn't really get the entry I was looking for whilst I was at the charts, and then I went away. We did actually have a really nice strong close. I probably wouldn't have actually taken the position just because the risk reward was heavily skewed against me, because I'm looking at even a less than 0.5 R back to the high. Then yes, we could take a look at pound CAD as well, no problem. We'll have a look see at pound CAD. But yeah, with dollar yen, I like the longs. We were seeing a lot of momentum on the USD side of things. DXY is flying at the moment. Bit of downside this morning, but altogether the trend still looks pretty clean to me. So I'm still pretty bullish on USD JPY. I was looking at intraday to see if I can scope a smaller entry to take advantage of this one. But I didn't really get that. I mean, I like the structure, it's quite corrective, but the way I like to take my entries, I like it when price forms a low, it takes it out and then recovers it, and that's my entry there. So the way price broke through the consolidation was a bit too aggressive for me, and that could mean more downside. So dollar yen, unfortunately, don't have an entry to trade this one, although I would really like to see if I can find an entry later on. I am in CAD yen, so until I am kind of risk-free with CAD yen, I won't be looking to jump into another yen pair because I don't really want to double up my risk intraday on basically the same idea. So I'll be watching out for that. But again, dollar yen I'm still very bullish on. It looks like we pull back into some structure here. I would expect this area to hold, and I'm looking for a push back into resistance up at the highs at 154.60. So I'm very, very bullish on dollar yen, expecting a lot more upside here. Not my favorite yen pair in terms of the entries right now, but just in terms of the current climate, I do think this has a lot of mileage still to the upside. We haven't done anything significant to tell me otherwise. So still expecting more upside there. Okay, so we'll take a look at some more USD pairs. What's up? Bashi, hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. We'll go through pound CAD as well. CS DXY holding on to my trend line. Okay, is that for the shorts you're looking at? 99.6 to 99.4. Okay, yeah, I think those are your intra or counter trend opportunities. What's up, Bashi? Thank you for the message, my man. If you guys are enjoying the content, drop a like, subscribe. Does really help out, and of course drop any chats, recommendations, trades you're in, topics you want to discuss, drop it in the chat and we'll be happy to chat about it. Oh, the longs, okay. Oh, longs, okay. I remember you said yesterday that you're looking for some counter trend shorts and then you're looking to buy it back up. But yeah, we'll go through the DXY shortly. But yeah, I am looking at still bullish opportunities on the yen pairs. We'll see how the CAD yen idea does play out. I'll be keeping a close eye on this one. Excuse me. I think I will do the old split screen technique so we can keep an eye. Ooh, wrong one. There we go. And then we'll move this to the side. Oh, make it a bit bigger. Okay, so yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll start with the DXY and then work our way through the USD pairs. Oh, okay, fair enough. Hit your shorts already, nice. TP is 99.948. Okay, cool. Congrats. So now you're looking at some longs now as well. Okay. I like that CS. I like that a lot. So in terms of the DXY, yeah, we've been super bullish. Looks like we're struggling around the 100.2 mark, which is of course a very significant point for the DXY. As you can see, we just about pipped it with a bit of a wick yesterday, but didn't sustain, and price is now looking bearish today. Now, this is of course a very sensitive area. I'm still very much bullish. I'm focusing on this piece of price action here, these higher highs and higher lows. That's still very much my take, but of course I'm being a bit more cautious here because after all, this is some sturdy resistance. It gave us a pretty big move down. We could see the same happen again. Nothing's guaranteed here. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can do as we approach this area here for the dollar. If price can hold this level well, I would suggest this is a smart place for a long, and then we can see hopefully new highs from that, because I'm looking at a bigger reversal here for the DXY, because we've been super bearish. Price tried to make new lows, failed to do that. Now it's back at the high, so it's essentially a big range. If we are going to break out, we do need to maintain, this bullish structure here. If this structure does start to give way, then that could mean that we're just in a bigger range, and the DXY has every reason to make a move back down to the low at 96.4. So it's quite important that we maintain this bullish momentum for the dollar and we get that breakout. If not, it could mean a pretty big sell. So for me, the focus will lie around the high there, which is 99.4. I think you mentioned 99.6 to 99.4. I do agree with that one there. CS, if we can hold that area well, maintain that slope of the trend line as well, I do think we can attack higher. If it does break, however, I will need to reanalyze, because at that point we're probably just in a big range here. It would be nice if TradingView can load. I think if we, okay, there we go. So if we can wait for that pullback to approach that high there, then we'll see what price does in the retest, and that hopefully could provide some nice pullbacks for Euro, Pound USD. Those are the main two USD pairs I'm looking at. I'm not the biggest fan of Aussie. Maybe New Zealand dollar could look better in a few days, but Euro and Pound are the USD pairs which I really want to focus much more on. And I do like what I'm seeing across the board. So if we can get a pullback into that zone, that's where my interest will peak and I'll start looking for opportunities. At the moment, I'm not really too bothered, to be honest. I do think the market's a little bit stretched over here, and we have bounced off a significant high. So I don't really want to be looking to buy here. Not that we can't go higher. That's just not a probability which I want to take at the moment. So yeah, DXY still super bullish. Need that pullback, 99.6, 99.4. Basically same as CS, key area to keep an eye on. If we break that, I might have to tone down my bullish expectations there. So if we take a look at Euro USD, pretty much looking at the exact opposite of that. So if I go to the daily chart, again, this one you have to be super careful with as well, because again, we're still reacting with this area of demand on our left. Massive push down, massive push back up. It gave us this new high here. So this is still a very significant area here for Euro USD, and textbook could still very much give us that, that could still very much be the case. But for now, I am focused on this sustained bearish structure. So again, I'm looking for some upside for us to now go melt through that low. So this is the opportunity, at least back to the prior low. Whether we melt through the low or not, that's up to the market. Again, as a trader, we're not so much trying to be fortune tellers here. It's just we're looking to trade from probable areas in probable directions. How far the market moves in that direction is literally up to the market, not us to decide. But of course, the further the better. So again, for euro dollar, this is again where I'm looking for price to pull back into, anywhere in there. If I had to pick a zone, it would be more so this pullback. That's kind of where I like the opportunity, because this is the breakout. That's the momentum that took out this low and this low. So I quite like what I'm seeing there, and it would be nice to revisit for a retest, lower high and more downside. So we are looking bullish on the day, and we'll see if momentum can get us there. Of course, I'm not expecting us to get there by today. That probably will be next week at this point, because we're already, pushing halfway through Thursday. So probably looking at a pullback maybe early next week sometime. I would say keep an eye on that low as well. I would prefer slightly deeper pullback, but I would say also keep an eye on 1.154. But 1.158 definitely has my name written on it. So that's where I'm waiting to see if we can get to and take some shorts. But nothing really to report on unless you're looking for some counter trend opportunities for Euro. because of course you've had a bit of a consolidation here, and price broke out of that pretty aggressively, to be honest. Nice close there. When was that? That was as the daily candle rolled over. So really nice breakout. And again, if I drop intraday to the 15 is not looking great, to be honest. Perhaps if we can get a nice corrective pullback into that zone, that could be an interesting buy. Of course, counter trend, but there is room to the upside. So you keep your risk small, risk reward pretty high. If it pays off, it could be a really nice trade. Worst case scenario, you get out quickly. That's if you're interested in going counter trend. But yeah, for me, I'm still very much short bias. So yeah, euro dollar looking at downside, pound USD, another USD pair, which I really do like as well. I'm looking at downside for this one too. We'll see what price does as we approach this first kind of supply zone, which gave us the most recent strong move down. Again, I have talked about a much bigger pullback for pound USD. It's just we are not getting that at the moment. I was talking about the break and retest of that zone, but it's just been so bullish, so bearish, sorry. I just lack the opportunity to actually see that pullback. Maybe it does happen next week. Again, not gonna write that off, but this would be the more meaningful area to focus on for now. Then if we do break through that, we can discuss this area in a bit more detail. But there's still a lot of momentum there for pound, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just push down. I mean, this pullback so far does look pretty corrective. So, implies we haven't really seen much strength come into the market. Again, if you're looking for opportunities for the now for pound, I do think your intraday counter trend opportunities make the most sense. We're starting to see momentum pick up. We could see price pull back into this zone, retest that, and see some upside for the next session or for the next day. And that could be a nice opportunity to ride that momentum before looking to maybe sell it for next week. So if you are keen to trade pound, keen to trade euro, I would be looking at those kind of counter opportunities, looking to fade USD. Of course, USD is coming from that high at 100.2. So it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the major USD pairs. Again, USD, Euro USD and Pound USD, my favorite USD pairs, but we'll have to be patient. What is up, Precious? Good morning, my man. Hope you're doing good. LFTJ, what's up? Yes, we'll break down CAD yen trade for you, no problem. Let me just go through some messages. CS, okay, yeah, same idea, pretty much. Range 99.8, okay, to 99.2, okay, cool. We'll be neutral for the DXY. 99.2 will be neutral, okay, makes sense. Yeah. If we do break under 99.4, I will start to relax as well on the DXY as well. So yeah, pretty much looking at a similar idea. Lebsy, my man, hope you're doing good. Also interested in CAD yen long, nice, but around 108.750 with some stops at the weekly low. Okay. Guess if it works out for you, I'm not getting into the trade, just have to wait and see. Yeah, that's the reality of trading, because again, you have to focus on your specifics. Where do you want to enter? Where do you want to put your stop loss? You're basically waiting for price to come to you, and of course, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But one thing I've learned in trading is that the only thing that really matters is the actions you do take. So, if you're waiting for specific areas, price gets there, they perform well, then everything else is just noise to you. You're waiting for price to get to those areas. You don't want to just chase price. But of course, according to my strategy and how I like to trade, I found myself an entry here. And we'll see how that one goes. But I'll break it down. The CAD yen long. Yes, we'll take a look at euro pound. I've also need to take a look at pound CAD for Ben, that was mentioned earlier. So I'll go through pound CAD, we'll go through CAD yen, euro pound. Of course, any requests, any pairs you're looking at, drop it in the chat. We'll take a look. Appreciate the links there, Bashi. I was talking to you, but I guess you left the stream. That is so poor CS. Okay, so yeah, we'll go through the CAD yen trade, then I'll go through pound CAD and euro pound. So yeah, in terms of the CAD Yen trade, I'm only looking for a pretty small move here. I'm looking to see if I can take it back to the high, which is roughly 1.31R. So nothing crazy with this position. I was actually looking at quite a lot of the yen pairs, but I was away from my desk yesterday afternoon, so I missed the pound yen entry, and dollar yen was quite bullish. I probably wouldn't have taken that one because the risk reward was horrendous on the 4-hour chart. But I did miss a pound yen trade, which we can go through as well. But CAD yen was one of the yen pairs which I did like as well. Not so much on the 4-hour, but as things progress on the 50-minute, I'm liking the price action. So essentially, we've had a pretty big drop here. Price had this kind of climatic last bearish flush here, really aggressive move down. Since then, we have recovered and most importantly, broken through some structure here as well and created some bullish structure here too. So the idea of the trade is I'm looking basically to try and catch that new higher low to take it back to the high. I will leave some positions to run because I am long-term bullish on the yen crosses, so I want to see if I can take advantage of that, but I'll be taking the bulk of the position off at the high because this is more intraday, not really swing. I'd rather look for a better entry if I'm looking for a longer term trade. But for this intraday position, it's just, okay, we've had a really intense impulse here, really clean break to the upside, and we've pulled back into key structure, retesting the price swing high, so essentially a break retest of that high. We've also got the confluence of this demand zone here, which we had a brief pause, of course, as price was battling with that high, and that gave us that next injection of momentum. Since then, price has been pretty corrective on the way down, which implies, okay, this bearish structure is probably temporary before we do continue. And I like how price is just sweeping the lows, recovering them, sweeping the lows. And again, I've bought in the recovery, expecting to see price do something similar. And if momentum can step in, basically the continuation of that, it should take us back to the high most likely. So in terms of the idea of the trade, I've bought off the retest of a key zone whilst expecting us to reclaim this low here. And because of how price is moving, I'm expecting this flag to kind of eventually show momentum back to the high. So keeping things very simple, all I'm doing is basically buying the low of a pullback and expecting us to maintain a push to the high, whilst knowing that if I scale to the daily chart, I do have somewhat of a trend in my favor. It's not the most aggressive trend you'll ever see, but for the most part, CAD Yen is making higher highs and higher lows. So yeah, I'm kind of using that slight trend there for CAD Yen in my favor. Other yen pairs have better trends, but just for this intraday play, there is that added confluence of the market structure. So yeah, the only thing I don't like about the position, which I have taken into consideration for my risk, is how aggressive this bearish move here was on the 4-hour chart. I don't like it. It was a little bit too aggressive for my liking. That was a bit slower or not as deep. I would be a bit more aggressive with this CAD Yen trade. Probably look to push most of the position further, but excuse me. But because, yeah, it was a really aggressive move down, I don't like that momentum. So I'm just seeing if I can take it back to the high, and I'll call it quits there. So yeah, that is the story behind CAD Yen. Let's see what we get from it. And of course, stops just a few pips below that wick low, also covering for that zone there as well. So give myself that little bit of buffer. But yeah, we'll see how this position does perform. Again, I'm still getting used to the 50-minute time frame. I think this is probably maybe 6th or 7th trade in the 15 minutes since I've reintroduced it into my trading plan. So still very, of course I have tested and have done my research, but in terms of going live, yeah, this is still a bit on the newer side of things to me. I used to trade 15-minute, but that was like years ago. For the past like 2 years I've been trading the 4-hour chart, and then before that I was trading the hourly chart. Okay, so Where was I? Oh, go through pound CAD, euro pound before I forget. Your trading view wouldn't let you open more than 10 lots, so I spent most of the stream sending emails to IC Markets and trading view support. Oh no. Hopefully it's resolved, Bashi. To be fair, I don't trade with TradingView for IC Markets. I just use MT5. To be honest, there's no kind of big reason why I don't use TradingView apart from I've just been using MT4, MT5 literally my whole trading career. I'm very used to the platform and haven't really had many, if any, issues with it. So yeah, I trade with IC Markets on MT5. But to be honest, TradingView has come a long way as well. So I don't know, maybe in the future I might switch over to TradingView. But not a good sign there though. Precious, I want to go long on US 30. Okay, we'll take a look. Where's the best place? Okay, we'll take a look. Good morning, Almost Healed. Welcome to the stream, my man. I hope you're doing good. Okay, we'll go through pound CAD first and then take a look at euro pound and the Dow Jones. And I'll go through some watch lists as well, because I do have an intraday idea on Euro NZD, which I really like, even more than the CAD Yen trade. So if I can get that set up, I'll be all over that. But I'm not too sure if I will, but we'll take a look in a moment. So yeah, in terms of pound CAD, I'll start on the daily chart. Did you say what your bias was, or you just want me to take a look? Okay, you're on a CAD Yen buy, pound CAD buy. I'm in a CAD Yen buy. But yeah, for a pound CAD buy, I don't mind it. The market structure is very, very flat. I'm personally bearish, but as I was saying last week, I'm not looking to sell the market until I can get price back into structure. So I'm not really concerned about shorting here. I'm just bearish because I'm looking for this to explode to the downside. So that's more analysis for later into the future. In terms of the here and now, price has basically pulled back to the low of this range here. Your equal highs mostly there, equal lows mostly here. It's a very rough kind of guideline to the market structure, and essentially price is pulled into the low of the range. So it's a very smart place for a buy. And I would suggest if you are looking for targets, at least a push there. Of course, you might be looking for the home run. But this is a great place to secure some profits or trail a stop or remove risk at the very least. But essentially, yeah, you're buying at the low of the range, so I can't be critical of that because that's all I preach. If you're going to trade inside a messy market, choppy market, make sure you're at the extremes, at the low or the high. In the middle is always where the noise will be. So yeah, in terms of price action, I like the way we've kind of consolidated and then come back to retest support as well. It is still a little bit up in the air whether price will break through that resistance or not, because that's probably what's going to get your trade going. We could very much come back down from there. So I would suggest, especially if you're intraday, keep an eye on this area, because that's probably what's going to be probably going to hold your trade back if it doesn't get the break, of course. But momentum looks good. I think pound's picking up some strength in general, so pound looks like it's becoming strong against most currencies now. As long as that can maintain, you do look good here, and we'll see what price can do at resistance. But naturally, I am looking for a bounce, so I don't mind the trade. I'm not really seeing a clear-cut entry that I would take there. But of course, I'm sure you got your own entries and the reasons for it. But in terms of location, I think it's at a great place. You kind of got this demand zone to your left here, supporting the trade too. So for that reason, I do like the location and the direction. But keep your eyes on those areas. Okay, so I will go through Euro Pound next. I'm going to take a look at the Dow Jones for Precious. Bashi, I like using TradingView because I can do all my analysis trading on there. It's easy. Yeah, that's true. with all alerts and limit stuff all in one place. I prefer it and visually pleasing too. Yeah, good point. I mean, for basically all those reasons is why I use TradingView, because analysis is 10 times better than MetaTrader. I used to do my analysis on MetaTrader, but then when I discovered TradingView, I think in 2019, I just shifted all my analysis to TradingView, and I just stayed there. And I was always just using MT4, MT5 for execution of my trades. And to be honest, as time has gone on, TradingView has got even better in terms of just analysis, even trading now. It's a lot better than it was a few years ago. So yeah, TradingView is a great platform. It's just I'm just so used to just using MT4 for trading purposes. I haven't really experimented with TradingView, to be honest. So I could do with a bit of experimentation there, but yeah, I'm just very comfortable. And I haven't had any bad experiences with MetaTrader in terms of taking trades, managing trades as well. So it's not really giving me the motivation to look elsewhere. But yeah, fair enough, it makes sense. Yeah, everything in one place makes everything easier. What's up, Holy One? Hope you're doing good. So you're taking it to the high end. Yeah, inspiration, Holy One. You inspired the position. Missing one confirmation, but yes, it should go up. Okay, we've got the Holy One confluence added to the trade. Need to add another column in my journal to tick that box off. But yeah, hopefully we do get that push in CAD. I mean, momentum looks good. We'll see. We will see. Meant for the M1 trading, too intense for me. Too intense for most people. Bashi is built different. Okay, let's go for Euro Pound and the Dow Jones. Okay, so yeah, Euro Pound surprising, still attacking the highs there. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I expected that just to collapse and fall over as Euro Pound normally does. It's a very choppy pair, so when it does break out, I never really believe it, to be honest. Of course, every now and again it will have its breakout. Every dog has its day. But we did take up the highs there, made a new high. So that is showing some intent on the lower time frames for price to try and go further. It's not the most significant high you'll ever see. It would be nice if it was a bit more convincing on the breakout, but I would still say buys is your best bet. Momentum's still up. And we formed this low, which gave us this high. We do have a bit of a demand zone prices trading in at the moment. Maybe not the strongest, but it might do a job. Let's drop to the 15. How are we looking? There might be some nice short-term buys. I probably wouldn't look for the home run for Euro Pound just because I'm not convinced with the continuation. But yeah, if we can push back into the low here, I think this is a smart place to look for price to react with and place a long position. Like I said, I probably wouldn't look for the home run. You can always leave positions to try and run to see if we can get that move. But I think that's a smart place to go long and at least anticipate a push back into resistance. You've got the higher time frame momentum on your side. You come into a smart location. Your price has been very every time price does sweep a low, it does recover it. So you're getting that indication that buyers are performing pretty well at lows. If you can see some healthy rejection there, you have a solid level of support to buy from. And resistance is pretty far away. You can probably actually make that a decent risk reward, even just back to that high. Doesn't even have to be over there. So Euro Pound, I would be bullish intraday. In terms of swing, like I said, I'm just not convinced following this bullish position, this bullish momentum from a swing perspective. I wouldn't have confidence to hold this for a while. The reason why I like the intraday buys is because we're in and out, only there for probably about a day. So it doesn't have to continue for ages for us to make decent profit. So I'll be a bit more watchful of that. I would say from a 4-hour point of view, I do like this low here. Of course, it gave us the high, but also a nice consolidation and very strong breakout. This again could be a nice place for a bounce. Again, I'll be a bit more mindful of targets. Not too sure if I'll try and push it the whole way. But two zones to keep an eye on. Intraday, this already looks good. Of course, we'll see what price does when we get there. But yeah, euro pound, I would have that bullish bias, at least as of now anyway. Okay, so where were we? We'll go through the Dow Jones next. I think trading the views of the gold standard, yeah. In terms of a trading platform, I would say it is. What's up, Rodrigo? Hope you're good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm well. Thank you for helping us. God bless you. I appreciate it. Right back at you, my man. I appreciate you guys tuning to the stream, showing some love, dropping likes, chatting with myself. And of course, the streams will be nothing without you guys as well. It would just be me talking to a microphone and a screen. So I do appreciate the kind of messages you guys do leave as well. Holy One. Oh, I'm eyeing up USD as well, Holy One. I'm looking at USD. New Zealand CAD. I like New Zealand CAD. It's pretty bearish as well. That's still looking like it's still got room to the downside, but I like USD quite a lot. I'm actually looking for entries if price can push back down, which probably is not what you would like to see, but we'll go through that shortly. Let me just take a look at US 30 and then I'll go through USD. So yeah, US 30. Is this US 30? Okay, I actually quite like the price action here. Okay, so you mentioned where would you buy? So yeah, I'm actually quite liking what I'm seeing in US 30 right now. Very strong push on this close. When was this? Wednesday, 5th November. Yesterday. So very nice close. I like the zone trading below us here. Potentially you might already be looking to make the move to the upside. I like the way price has kind of taken out that low. Sort of already had the retest of this area, as you can see. And maybe price is now getting ready for a move to the upside. But if I was to drop intraday to the 15-minute chart, if we could have one more push down, that would be very, very nice. When did this happen? This was 8:45. Was not paying attention. That's actually a really nice buy. If price could push down to this low again, that would be ideal. But my thinking is that we might have already done our job here, already had the retest, and maybe price is now going to see a swing to the high. But of course, you never know. If you do get one more push down, that would be a very nice place to position yourself long. Again, stop loss underneath the low, targets. Let's say if we do push down, initial targets back at resistance, then you can talk about the swing high there as well. But I really like the momentum, very commanding move up, really corrected move down, so implying that this bearish momentum is likely just a pullback for us to continue higher. So yeah, US 30, super bullish on this one. I wouldn't be super bullish in terms of like a swing back to the all-time highs just yet. We've still got a long way to go in that regard, but at least to the high from this, from Wednesday, looks pretty likely to me. Of course, we still do have that uptrend in the higher time frames, which you do expect to continue. So there's nothing wrong trying to push the trade and see if you can hold on for a push back to the all-time high, but I would make sure I take most of my profit before then, because we do still have some bearish structure above us, which could still do a job and push us back down. But I do like the fact that we're reacting pretty well. So yeah, overall very bullish on the Dow Jones. But if you're looking for entries, unless you're already in the trade, unless you're already in the position, you do want us to push back to lows again. At least that's where I'll look to find my entries, because then I'll maximize my risk to reward, but also position myself as as low as possible. So if I can get entry here, stops there, it gives me the best scenario. Entries as low as possible, stop loss even lower, and then targets back to highs, or even the high there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for the Dow Jones. I'll take a look at Euro NZD next because I'm interested in that pair. And Holy One is trading it. Gold looks to be in a range. We'll take a look at gold. I haven't been so interested with gold's price action, to be honest. But we can definitely go take a look. So yes, do you have trades in GJ? What's your insight? I'm bullish on GJ, but I actually missed the long entry yesterday. I was out at the time. I was out yesterday afternoon, so I was eyeing up pound yen. I was eyeing up dollar yen. I don't really like taking trades away from my desk. Sometimes I do, but I try to avoid it. So yeah, yesterday I missed pound yen trade, but I'm not too worried because if my analysis is going to play out, pound yen's got a lot of upside to push through. So I should find a re-entry later on. But yeah, I'll go through USD first. I'll take a look at pound yen. We'll go through gold as well. Appreciate it, Bashi. No problem, Precious. Thanks for the idea. Seems I will wait for a deep pullback to have a good risk reward. Yeah, I think that's the best way to play it. Of course, maybe price does generally break out for US 30, this channel. Maybe we do just fly from here, but yeah, I would rather wait. I mean, there's nothing wrong buying on breakouts. It's just not my forte. It's not how I trade. I normally like to buy low within the pullback, maximize risk reward. Of course, you don't really have momentum in your favor initially, so you'll probably take a few more losses, but the sacrifice is you take a few more smaller losses to hopefully take more big winners. So that's kind of how I like to position myself in the market. But you can look to try trade counter trendline breaks. That's a play as well. But yeah, that's the way I like to position myself. Okay, so yeah, we'll go for USD and which one was it? Gold, pound yen. So yeah, with USD, I'm super bullish on this one. I'm actually looking for entries, but I think the ship has sailed, and Holy One is sailing away with it as well. So again, similar opportunity as we just spoke about with the Dow Jones, looking for price to push back into the low here. And that's where I want to try and see if I can find a buy opportunity as we push back down into this low. The reason why I'm super bullish in USD is, again, if I scale to the higher time frames, you do have a pretty consistent uptrend at play here on the 4-hour chart, daily chart as well. The market has been continuously heading to the upside, so you do have that natural aided wind in your favor, which is always a good confluence for a trade. And of course, recently we had a very corrective down move, and then recently that broke out quite aggressively as well. So all I'm betting is that, okay, we've had this breakout, and this breakout is probably likely to continue higher. At the very least, attack the highs here, and if things go very well, maybe attack the highs there too. So there is a lot of bullish confluence here for USD. So I was keeping a close eye on this one this morning to see if we can get one more push into the low. So again, I can find some entries in this area, stops below, and see if I can target the highs. And then if things go very well, target the highs over there from the prior daily swing. But at the very least, a push back to this level here. So yeah, USD looking super bullish, but again, because momentum is starting to pick up, we may just do something like this. That's one of the downsides of looking for these type of entries, that you don't always get that last down move. Maybe prices made the move already, now it's ready to push through. It's a waiting game. You're waiting for price to come to you. Sometimes it will, sometimes it doesn't. And the time it does, you want to make sure you're there to take it, and the times it doesn't, you want to make sure you're not trying to chase it, unless you have another style of trading plan which you can deploy as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens with USD. Holy One's already trading it. We'll see, hopefully we can get to take profit for him, but of course I want to hope price does push down for myself as well, and see if we can take it back to the highs there. But in terms of the analysis, the confluence is lining up, the play, it ticks a lot of boxes, and I do think the likelihood of us pushing higher is pretty high. So yeah, in terms of pound yen, I was actually looking for entries. This is basically what I was explaining yesterday. That if price does close back above, this low, I'll look for the entry. So as soon as price did that, just about on this candle, which was 2 p.m. UK time, but 4 p.m. here in Kigali, I was already at the house at that point. So yeah, would have been a nice entry there. And again, the idea is if I scale to the higher time frame, because of course when I do drop to the low time frame, my thinking is always execution. Higher time frame daily chart is direction. That's primarily where the analysis is. In terms of execution, that's just looking for levels to buy and sell from. In terms of direction and what the idea is, it's okay, we've got an uptrend here at play. Price looks like it's retraced most of that gap there. And I'm betting on basically this being a pullback for another continuation. And of course, this uptrend's been in play for quite some time. So I have that wind in my sail. Same thing with USD, we just discussed, although I would say USD is a bit more momentum at play. But here, there's still a very strong trend at play, so it's the same idea. So yeah, looking to see if we can try and capitalize on that swing to the upside there for pound yen. Like I said, I would have loved to find an entry on the recovery of that low at 200.55, and then I'll put it had stops underneath the low here. So yeah, because the entry's missed, I would be keeping an eye out for some intraday opportunities. So if momentum can really pick up, especially if you can like mirror this move down on the way up, that will give me like a nice V-shaped pattern. Then I'll be expecting a correction of that and then the continuation. Hopefully that's where I find my new entries for pound yen. I have to be careful because this is range conditions. I don't like trading range conditions, but what I do like is that we kind of fake the low. So this gives me a bit more confidence to see some follow through the range. So I don't mind betting on that, but it's primarily not the best conditions or the best place to take the trade, which is why I like CAD Yen better, why I've taken that position as well. So yeah, ideally would have liked to have placed the trade there. Stop loss would have been a really safe place because if price did roll over and hit my stop, it's probably I'm in the wrong direction there anyway. And yeah, right below the range too. So that is the missed setup for GJ that I was referring to early in the stream. And then the funny thing is I missed this setup as well. I mean, this would only be like a small win or break even actually, because we took out this low and then we had the Fed interest rate shortly after. So it wouldn't have been a winning trade anyway, but I mean, we don't know if this is a winning trade either, but it's still the same principle. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with GJ. Still super bullish, but have to be super patient for those intraday opportunities. Don't want to rush into it, especially when we are trading in choppy conditions. But of course, at the moment I am in CAD Yen, so I'm not really eager to jump into pound yen right now. I kind of want to get this trade over and done with before I get into another yen pair, especially intraday. I don't want to double my risk intraday. I mean, we don't really have any crazy news today, do we? We do have the pound interest rate in an hour, actually. But in terms of CAD, we don't have anything this afternoon, I'm pretty sure. Nope, well, we got a speech this afternoon. Yeah, we got a speech. Wait. Yeah, we do a speech at 3:30. So in terms of CAD, that's primarily the thing to worry about. And then of course tomorrow, it doesn't look like we've got NFP tomorrow, I don't think. But we do have CAD unemployment rate, so I'll keep an eye on that, but I should be out of the position by then. I don't think I'll look to hold this overnight, unless I'm way into profit. Okay, so we'll go through gold next. Holy One, the DAX trade took at the beginning of the last week was horrible. The weekly was telling me sell, but I still tried to buy like a full. Broke the rule and lost. Being okay, week 8 trade, 6 wins, 2 losses. Yeah, I think that's the You know, sometimes you need to break your rule, get burnt a little bit to realize you've got that rule in place for a reason. That happens with me as well. You know, so you have your rules in place, you respect them, then that one trade comes along which kind of looks good, but kind of violates a certain part of your plan. You're like, okay, I can take it anyway. And then you get kind of found out for it, and then you're like, yeah, that's why I had the rule in place to start with. The thing is, though, sometimes you do violate the rule, and the trade still plays out as well, and that kind of gives you a bit of false confidence going into the next trade outside your plan. So yeah, just part of being human, I guess. But of course, the plan's there for a reason. You've got to do your best to try to stick to it. But yeah, besides from that, really nice performance, and looks like USD is looking pretty good. New Zealand CAD, we'll take a look. Last time I looked at that, it looks pretty bearish as well. GJ in the 4 hour currently is a lot of wicks. I did have a sell here starting to curl up, so not too sure what direction in this will go. I'll stay out of this one. If the image cross, I'll get in. Okay, cool. I mean, the initial momentum for GJ this week has been pretty bearish, so if we do climb back underneath that low, I will relax that bullish bias I have, because the reason why I'm bullish is because, of course, the higher time frame trend, but from more of an intraday point of view is because we've recovered back above that low. If we were to break back underneath it again, then that shows me that we're still forming these lower highs, which is not what I want to see from a bullish standpoint. We do need to stay above that. But yeah, if we do get below, then you probably have a good likelihood of pushing back to this low. And then at that point, you're probably looking to see what price can do here. Does it respect it? Does it bounce? Does it break through? And that will make up the next kind of longer term analysis. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. In terms of gold, someone mentioned gold as quite corrective. Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up to date with gold, to be honest. Not really a pair on the watch list, so I'm staying fairly relaxed with gold. It is quite flat, so I do agree. Hasn't progressed much. Yeah, bullish this morning, but in the context of things, nothing's really changed here. So I would refrain from trying to find some entries inside here. I don't think that's the best play. As I mentioned at the start of the week, if we were to push back to the high, I think there could be like a nice short-term downside play. So another push back to the high there. I think that could be a nice play over here, because you still got a very corrected move up. And that could potentially give you a nice follow through to the downside, back to the low maybe, or just a short-term scalp off the high. I think that's a sensible place. And again, you're not trading in the middle, you're at the edges. So I think that's a smart place to look to get involved. So yeah, gold, in terms of direction, I would still be leaning to the downside. I did say, for me to shift bullish, I do need to see some force to the upside, and equally price starting to look like it's breaking structure. Then I'll be happy to follow gold to the upside again. But of course, recently we formed that really aggressive double top. And not only that, we've broken through some structure, and we've seen some continuous lower lows and lower highs. So it's not a market which I would like to be buying at the moment, especially if I'm only looking to hold a trade for a few days. Shorts here makes sense. I know it's against the larger trend at play, so again, take that into consideration. I wouldn't be banking on a huge move down, but a push back to this low, that low makes sense, or just even just a 1-to-1 at the high. Smart play there. But yeah, you're right, gold is very flat. And if it's flat, look at the highs, look at the lows. That's where you want to be. Okay, so ignore the DAX. To be fair, the DAX at the moment is very flat. Very, very flat. Not my favorite indice right now. No problem, CS. Happy to help, my man. Pressure, saw that inside bar on the daily time frame. I knew that the range is there. Yeah, that's one way of spotting a range. That is one way of spotting the range, yeah. One way of spotting a range. You can also focus on the highs and lows and see if the market is consistent in terms of taking them out. In this case, we're not. And that also represents a range as well. But yeah, the inside bar, not really a technique which I use a lot, but that is definitely one way to use it. Holy One Gold is a sell, I agree. If my H4M is crossed, I'll get in, but there's nowhere near crossing, so no trade yet. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I do agree. Momentum's pointing down, structure's pointing down, so I would be bearish as well. Of course, with the idea of selling gold, everyone's going to be a little bit apprehensive because of the high time frame trend. If I scale to the weekly, and this is still a very raging bullish market. But clearly, we have shifted to some degree, and we are in a bit of a counter trend stage right now. Of course, how long this lasts, maybe price has put a bottom, maybe it hasn't, but it is very extended. I'm seeing bearish structure. I'm not afraid to take those sells there. I won't be looking for any crazy moves, but if you can find some nice entries, I think it is a smart trade. Same with silver as well. Actually, silver doesn't look as good, especially in the 4-hour chart. If we jump over to silver, silver's had a more violent pullback, so I'll be a bit more apprehensive selling that one. As you can see, a slightly steeper pullback there. Gold's a bit more kind of like this, flat and corrective. So I would be a little bit less reluctant to short this one. But of course, similar markets, but I'll just focus on the better one anyway. So yeah, in terms of my watch list, at least my watch list, the intraday is pretty sweet, short and sweet. CAD Yen longs, which I'm managing now, and then potentially Euro NZD longs if it can pull back down. So if we can push back to that support, I would love to find an entry there. Those are the two markets which I'm concerned about intraday. In terms of swing, I've got quite a few on the plate, to be honest. Starting with USD pairs, Euro Dollar, I like that to the downside. Of course, we have seen a bit of USD weakness come into play, so I wonder maybe is the pullback started. Hopefully it has. But again, from a swing perspective, really nice bearish lower lows and lower highs. Looking for the next pullback and the next continuation. Pound USD as well. Super bearish, pointing down, even more bearish than Euro. Expecting a lot more downside with this one as well. In terms of the yen pairs, still looking to see if I can get some longs on dollar yen. I think for this one, I'll see if I can find some intraday setups. I don't really have any intraday at the moment. The market structure hasn't pulled back in a way which is allowing me to find a trade there, to be honest. So maybe I do get another push into this low, and that could maybe give me something on the 4-hour chart. Of course, GJ I'll still keep an eye on. I'm still very interested in longs for that one as well. I still do see that attack in the highs. Euro yen, I'm still bullish on this one. We pull back into a nice demand zone. Still very interested in that one too. But I need price to be at the lows here if I want to take a buy. In terms, and of course Swiss yen as well. That one I'm still bullish on, although it has taken out some 4-hour structure. So I have to be careful of that. But I'm still super bullish on that one too. And we do need to stay above this low. If price does break below that low, I will reconsider my bias. Not reconsider my bias will still be bullish, but I'll reconsider looking to buy it now. In terms of some of the crosses I'm interested in, so as we spoke about USD, I'm keeping a close eye on that one as well. Pound CAD, I really like the shorts on that one, but that still got a bit of a way from a pullback. I'm not looking at shorts until we can at least get to this low here. Preferably this area here would be my first pick if we can get there, but it would be a pretty big pullback for us to see that move. So I'm gonna have to stay super patient. And pound Aussie, I still like the downside of that one as well. Super bearish recently, took out that low well. Again, looking for a pullback at least to that area for some more downside. And yeah, that's primarily, I'm not really interested in other C-Chef pairs at the moment. Eurocad's not quite there yet either, so quite a few swing pairs I'm looking at, and a couple intraday opportunities as well. CS curious, what is the max pairs you have traded in your history? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like how many pairs I've traded at once, or how? Yeah, I'm confused what you mean. Or just how many different markets have I placed the trade on? Because in terms of placing a trade, I have no idea. Because I used to trade exotics back in the day. So there'll be USD ZAR, USD peso, USD SEC, USD NOK as well. To be honest, it wouldn't be that many because I've always stayed with currencies. I've never gone into like other weird markets or commodities, or like trade like some weird soybeans or something like that. So it's always been FX. So I'd probably say max 40, because at the moment my watch list or the pairs I can trade is like 31. So I reckon probably about 40. Precious, yes, we can take a look at oil as well, no problem. Holy One, haven't checked stocks yet, but heard CS rallies on Amazon or something. Okay, multi-billion pound deal with AI, so tech stocks flew. Gonna check later. I haven't looked at stocks either, to be honest, man. I do not keep up to date with stocks at all. But yeah, I'm expecting probably like Meta, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, even all those to be very, very dominant in the next 2, 3, 4 years of the AI boom. I mean, it really has been booming, but I think it will boom more. Okay, let's go take a look at oil. $80 billion, that's not bad, that's not bad. Yeah, that's a massive deal. Okay, so, okay, oil's pointing, I mean, we haven't quite broken through that low. I mean, I'm still looking for a push here. So, excuse me, in terms of direction, oil is still pretty quite clear in terms of highs. Extremely consistent with these lower highs. I'm looking at this to be another one. And if we're going to maintain that, I do need to see price give me a solid breakout. So something like this, which is what I was referring to yesterday. I said either, actually maybe not yesterday, I think this was last week. Either price has a push back to the high. So we're going to attack this high again. And we look for some entries in that area. And then hopefully, we take advantage of price rolling back over. Or we wait for a convincing push to the downside to show, okay, momentum is here. Market's looking very bearish. And then we can look for some shorts off the back of that, pullbacks, lower highs, trade it back into the prior low. So oil I am pointing down as long as price stays below 61, 62, which is this level here. As long as we can stay below that, I will retain that bearish bias. If we break above, I wouldn't necessarily be bullish, but I think short-term bullish I would be. This is still the last major high where that keeps me bearish. If price takes out that, then I'll scrap the bias altogether. So breaking above this level doesn't really change the significance of the trend, but what it does mean is that at least in the short term, we are looking pretty bullish for us to see that breakout. and we'll see at least a low, high, higher low, and a higher high. So you can probably trade that pullback and that continuation there. But yeah, in terms of the bigger picture, oil's still pointing down. So those are two opportunities I'm keeping an eye on. Either we push back into the high, we test it, shorts at the high, or momentum comes into the market, we see a strong breakout, and we try and look for pullbacks to continue that move back into 56 and then maybe 55 over there as well, which is the daily swing. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with oil. Pretty bearish still. Again, intraday we are bouncing off support, so you might see a bit of a lift there as long as we're stuck in the range. $80 billion serious, that's £10 each to a person on the planet. Colossal. Yeah, when you put it in that perspective, that sounds insane. Now, of course, 80 billion is a huge amount. But yeah, I mean, that goes to show you how much intention is being focused on AI, and why it's very, very important to position yourself, at least now. You know, start trying to use AI in your daily life, to be honest, because I think that's where everything is headed. And you don't want to be the person who's just like, yeah, I don't want to use AI, because I think that would just do more harm than good. Everyone's going to do things faster, everything's going to do things easier, do things more. So yeah, you want to make sure that you position yourself well with that too, not in just trading, but in anything really, doing tasks, whatever. I think if you're not using AI, it's probably not going to serve you well, even if it's just slight, because you got major companies doing deals like this for a reason. And there'll be more to come as well. I appreciate it, Bashi. Thank you. If you guys haven't checked out the DX platform, I'll quickly show that now. But if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, chat to. I just saw ChatGPT comments. I said chat. Drop in the chat any recommendations, pairs you're looking to. You want me to discuss? Let me know. But of course, if you are enjoying the content, drop a like and subscribe. ChatGPT is sick. Yeah, ChatGPT is great. I've been using that like crazy in the past couple of months. I'll be getting my fair share of ChatGPT data, I'll tell you that for free. Hey, what's up, Francis? Hope you're doing good, my man. Welcome to the stream. Never been a fan, but been using it, and it's so good for compiling data and stuff. You guys are mate, ChatGPT is amazing at that. That's literally all I've been doing it. Data research. I just give it tons of data. It will analyze it in different ways that I didn't know were measurable, and then it will give me information in like actionable advice. Research, very, very powerful in terms of collecting data, presenting data, taking data and then spinning it in terms of different ways to think about it. So it's been to be honest, it's been crazy, and this is still fairly early on. So I'm a big user of ChatGPT. I can't lie. Precious just took a trade on the Japanese index. Okay, we'll take a look at that as well. £200 a month ChatGPT membership is crazy. To be fair, I'm just on the regular membership. I think it's like £20 or something. Yeah, 200. I think. I mean, I haven't actually looked at that membership because, yeah, I'm not paying £200 for ChatGPT yet. But to be honest, I think if you had like a big organization and then you wanted like a ChatGPT plugin, I think the £200 actually makes sense for that. Maybe not personal use unless you're doing something crazy. Yeah, just even the free version, you're doing a lot, to be honest. Even the free version. It's just a bit annoying because you run out of bandwidth. But yeah, even the free version, you can do a lot. Can't complain. I like that, Francis. I can't complain either, man. Whoa, Bashi. Getting a bit too crazy there. I want to marry it. Bro, you need to step out the house, man. I'm joking. Yeah, exactly. It's time to go for a girlfriend. Don't marry me. You'd be surprised though. Give it a good 10 years. You never know what will be coming out of with AI. Maybe some AI girlfriends coming out or boyfriends. But yeah, don't do that though. Don't do that. Okay, so let's take a look at the Japanese index. Pressure said he whacked on a position. Is it a buy or sell position? Where's your message? Took a long. Okay, cool. Okay, so we had a pretty big wick yesterday. Huge wick into that zone. I am still very bullish on the index. Hence why I'm still looking to long the yen pairs. But of course I'm not going to be so bullish that I'm expecting price just to run back to high straight away. I would be looking at this area as an area which could give us an intraday push back to resistance here. But that's about it. I mean, we could go further, of course, but I wouldn't bank on that. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Very corrective. I like the way we bounced into this zone here as well. I think potentially you could still see price maybe sweep the low here one more time. So if that does happen, you can always look for re-entries, and if that is the case, you will put yourself at a nice place for a long and hopefully a push back to the high there. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing there with the Japanese index. Still very bullish on this one. Very violent recovery. You know, really aggressive move down, followed by a really aggressive move back up. Corrected move down, which implies this is likely a correction for us to continue higher. Just in terms of entries and positioning, that's where I'd want to be in the trade. But yeah, super bullish on the index. And of course, higher time frame trend is still very bullish too. So naturally, that's the direction I want to be trading in anyway. Oh, the stress of a woman. I mean, whoever suits you, Bash, whoever floats your boat, man. What pairs you looking at? I'm looking at quite a few. I'm still focused on buying the yen pairs. I'm currently long on CAD yen, which is in a bit of a drawdown at the moment. Momentum is not quite picking up there. We'll see how this position goes. But yeah, I'm long on CAD yen. Looking to see if I can find some entries on pound yen as well, but I'll let this trade do what it wants to do because I don't want to double up on the yen, especially intraday. So I'll let that trade play out before I do get into another yen pair. In terms of some of the crosses, I like USD to the upside, and some of the USD pairs like euro dollar to the downside, pound dollar to the downside, pound CAD shorts, pound Aussie shorts as well, but those are some pullbacks that are going to take some time. But I can go into my watch list in a bit more detail. Hey, what's up? Forgetting the name. Jam. Okay, that's it. What's up, Jam? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're doing good. Just needs cars and food. Simple man, Bashy, simple man. 51,200 is your target for the buy position. Let's have a look. $51,200. That will take you to the high here. Yeah, pretty understandable target. If I was looking to take the trade, I'll have a target at the high, but pretty much the same vicinity, to be honest. So yeah, I do not mind. It makes sense to me. You need a real girl with some drama. Facts. Life would be boring otherwise. I brought some of my chairs. I'm ready going bowl slowly. But to be fair, Bash, you're 30. You said you're 34. 34. You still got a decent head of hair at 34. So you've done well, man. You've done well. I'm trying best to keep my hair, but if I'm successful or not, that's another question. Yeah, the one confirmation I mentioned, maybe why it's not pulling off. Nevertheless, it's a buy once my moving average across. Yeah, I mean the whole point of my entry is to get in before moving averages across. So of course that will expose me to more downside and more losses, but the idea is to get in a bit earlier to maximize the risk reward. But yeah, we'll see if momentum can pick up. I think CAD's a little bit weak because yen to me still looks quite weak, but it looks like CAD hasn't really kicked in yet. So we'll see if that can change. Along pound yen at 201.062. Okay, we can go to take a look at pound yen. Oh, okay, 33, my bad. 33. I mean, again, 33 is still impressive, full head of hair. Or at least majority. Okay, so we'll go through GJ. We'll take a look at. If I've missed out a pair someone's mentioned, let me know, but I do not know. LFTJ, we'll take a look at BTC as well, no problem. Race car's a nice steak. Fair enough, Bashy. Fair enough, mate. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Okay, we'll go for BT. Yes, Edward, I'm in longs on CAD yen. Not moving too well at the moment, but we're going to see how this gets going. This is the position I'm in intraday on the 15. I took some longs on the closure of that candle there. Stops 108.883 underneath that low. Yen is still looking pretty weak, but I think CAD is just not seeing some strength right now. Let me have a look at some. I mean, pound yen has been okay. I think that's a bit flat now. I think intraday were lacking that that push. New Zealand CAD dropping slowest as well. Yeah, that might be because of CAD. So yeah, pound yen looking a lot better. I mean, looking a lot better. I mean, this is still very flat. It's been better in terms of recent, but it's still so flat. This needs to break the highs if it wants to get going. But CAD yen kind of just slowly rolling. We'll see what happens as we go into the New York session. Maybe that will give it the kick it needs. We do have CAD speech for CAD, so I need to watch out for that. Okay, so yeah, we'll go through BTC and GJ. And if I've missed out a pair, let me know. But yeah, in terms of GJ, someone mentioned they're in a long. Jam you in a long target 202. $202.6, 202.06, sorry. So basically around 202. So basically coming back into this zone here. I don't mind it, to be honest. If I was long on GJ from yesterday, that would have been my first target as well, to be honest. So pretty much the same page. And you said you got some entries, 201.062. That would be 201.62. 2162. 062. I keep missing the O. 21062. So that's basically at the low of that candle. Yeah, I mean, in that case, you're kind of waiting for the breakout. Then you kind of wait for price to break the high. So that's where your focus has got to be, because it's all well and good to have a target here, but if price kind of just fluctuates and fails to break the high, then that trade's never going to get going. But of course, if it does break, then you could be looking at a really nice breakout. You can trail or even add positions along the way. Look at that. CAD yen's not doing what I said it will do. That is shocking. Looks like, the thing is, I think it's more to do with CAD. Not even yet. But momentum's not picking up. I mean, I will look for re-entries if we bounce that low again. So I'll give it another stab. But it looks like with this momentum, it's going to take a very strong bounce for us to see a push back up. But that's what the stop loss is there for. I've got my risks predetermined underneath that low. So price has got all that wiggle room to do what it wants to do. But yeah, momentum is not looking great at the moment. We'll see if that can pick up later on. But yeah, we'll go through BTC next. Might close some early depending on how it moves. Fair enough. Yeah, if it does struggle at the highs there, that's your warning sign. That's your red flag. If of course you can see like a nice close, especially higher time frame. If you can get like an hour or even better, a full hour candle to close above that wick, you're looking pretty good. Of course, price can still pull back, but at least momentum is more confirmed in your favor. In terms of BTC, BTC was a little bit bullish yesterday, not to a crazy degree, but did see a bit of upside. So yeah, with Bitcoin, it's a tricky one. Things still look pretty bearish, and I think intraday, not even intraday, even intra-week, shorts still look the best play to me. We're breaking through lows consistently. This is the low that gave us the high. Price broke through that. We got this low here. Price created a new high, broke through that too. So if we were to correctively push back up, there's a good chance we do continue at least back to lows, and maybe further as well. So I think now this is more bullish territory, because we are coming back into this demand zone here, which did give us a pretty big rally previously. And it looks like price has swept that low, and now price might recover and see a bit of a pullback, but equally so, momentum is pointing down for BTC. So I would primarily be focusing on the shorts, especially if you're looking at like executions on the 4-hour chart, hourly chart. I think that's the better play. We might see intraday price start to pick up momentum and push back up, but I think that's the play there. 107, 108k. So yeah, I'm pretty bearish here for BTC, I can't lie. But I wouldn't be shorting here, it would be higher up. Respect shareholders. I think GP won't cut, but I want to see what they say if there's a speech. Let's have a look. So yeah, we've got the interest rates at 12 UK time, so 22 minutes. Yeah, there's a speech in 52 minutes, so I'm guessing that will be 12:30. I think that'll be the interesting one to keep an eye on, because that's kind of what they'll be saying in terms of going to the next one. But yeah, expectation is that they won't cut for this event either. Holy Holy One, please check your Discord. Have you sent a message or? What's going on Discord? Precious, I want to ask a quick question. If yen is weak, what effects does it have on the Japanese yen? Well, it's actually the other way around, to be honest. It's actually the other way around. It will be the case of if the Japanese index is, let's say if the Japanese index is strong, that means primarily money will be flowing. If the Japanese yen is strong, that means money will be flowing out the yen currency into the stocks, into the Japanese stock market. So that means the yen will be weaker, and that means the crosses should move up. So it's actually the other way around. Maybe there's a correlation going the other way, but primarily I just focus on, okay, if the Japanese index stock is moving up, that means money's been flowing out the yen to the stock market. If it's the other way around, the stock market is down, money flowing out of the stock market into the yen is up. So they're inversely correlated. Geez, Holy One, your screen is so dark, man. It's like looking into the night sky here. Okay, so you're waiting for those moving averages to cross. Yeah, I like to get in before the MAs cross, just to give me that prime real estate in terms of the entry. Of course, that means you do take on a bit more risk because you're not getting that late confirmation. But I like getting a little bit earlier to maximize that risk reward. But yeah, that's so dark, man. How are you looking at the chart there? I can barely see the candlesticks. I can see the moving averages, but the candlestick's so dark. Okay, so yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Is it gold? Yeah, we'll go through gold. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can work out an edge from all of that, to be honest, but I don't really spend too much time on it, to be honest. Yes, LFTJ, we'll take a look at gold for you. I want to see forecast for 2026. Is that for pound with the speech? Yeah, that's a good point as well, Bashi. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I suppose because if your focus is primarily on the moving averages, then of course that's the most important thing to keep a track of. But it's just because of course you don't normally see charts look like that, so it's a bit of a shock. Okay, so gold. LFTJ mentioned a sell around 40.31. I think we're in the same boat. Actually, I'll be looking slightly higher. I said I'll be looking. I'm not looking to short gold. But if I was looking to short gold, it would be 40.46 above that high there. So we're looking for price to run into that high and then reject. Primarily because, again, I'm still short bias on this one. Momentum is still very much down, and I want to be at the highs here. That's where I want to place my entries and get my stops above. 40.31 you mentioned, so that will be basically coming into resistance here. Not a bad place for a short. Again, whether price will actually get to the high or not is up to price at the end of the day, but you are shorting pretty high up in the range, so I can't complain. I think that'll be that's prime real estate for shorts, especially when you get stops above the high there. And then yeah, if the trend does continue, you could be looking at a swing back into this low, potentially a lot further as well. There is a lot of room to the downside. Okay, yeah, with the speech, yeah. So that speech will be half 12. But we'll see what happens with the rates itself. Again, I suspect to stay at 4%. The rate's coming out 16 minutes, so I'll keep an eye on that. Probably switch that to a pound pair. Is anyone trading pound at the moment? Yep, Anton, we do have GBP news. We'll keep an eye. I'll switch the screens to show some pound currency pairs so we can see it in all its glory. But yeah, I am aware. We'll switch it in like 10 minutes. Still got a good 15 minutes away. Thinking of selling pound. Okay, France, are you looking to sell pound on the news? You on the 12 p.m. news will see the split between the people of Bank of England, which will be a good insight for the speech. If they're online or not. Wait, I'm confused, Bashi. Are you talking about people on the stream or? Yeah, which people are you referring to? But I will showcase. We'll stay a little bit longer to see what happens with the news. GJ business. Okay, we can go through GJ quickly as well. Oh, okay, fair enough, Francis. Yeah, same outlook here. I'm pretty bearish on pound as well. I'm very bearish on pound as well. So if pound is bullish and we do see some pullbacks, that will be fantastic, because if price is bullish, pound CAD will retrace, pound USD will retrace, pound yen will retrace. Those are the markets I'm looking to try and short. So I mean, pound USD is already pushing up now. I want more of this. I'm not too sure if pound will be strong on the news. If it is, great. But yeah, I'm really just looking to short pound. Oh, you're talking about the Bank of England? Okay. I won't stay till the 12:30, but I'll stay till the 12, like the interest rate itself. Yep, Andre, UK data is going to be released soon. We'll keep an eye on that. In about 5 minutes, I'll switch both charts, like some pound pairs, pound yen, pound USD, the typical duo. We'll see what happens. USD almost at the high. Wrong one. Yeah, it's looking bullish now. Does look like we'll get that next pullback, especially if it looks like price about to take out resistance there. Holy One, is your target back here, or is your target here? Because I know you like to trade towards the high. I'm not too sure which high you're talking about. But to be fair, either of them, I do expect them to be hit. Of course, this one is about 2 pips away. Hey, what's up, Yusuf? Good morning, man. I hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, yeah, you're talking about what they favor. 125 means 1 said hike, 2 hold, 5 said cut. So that's interesting. Okay, yeah, of course that will be the information going into the next rate event, which, to be honest, maybe even more important than the interest rates itself, because especially if the rates stay the same, well, everyone knew that already. What people don't know is what those Bank of England people are going to say. Trying to time when I get it, because I get too early, I make my stop loss too close, I wait too long, it moves without me. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with trading, and that's where journaling and recording your trades really comes into play. Because like I said yesterday, you can't improve what you don't measure. So make sure you record all your trades, even when you get stopped out early or you miss trades, record that as well. And then you can work backwards from there. You can kind of average down, okay, when I do this, I'm getting too early. When I'm doing this, I'm getting too late. How can I try and meet in the middle? And you work your way from there, and you've got your information, your data to help you achieve that. Because trading is very much kind of process driven. If the process is wrong, you amend the process. There's no one thing that I could say that would just magic everything together, unfortunately. So yeah, make sure you record your trades, and then you can kind of work back from there. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, we'll see, Anton. We'll see if Bank of England can give us a bit of a push. That would be nice, because I need some pullbacks per pound. Okay, 08897, 8897. Oh, okay, look, if I push the, wait, 03897. Okay, yeah, this high here. Okay, makes sense. Afternoon, Kingsley. Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're well. I am doing good. Yes, we could go through USDs. I'll be pretty quick because I want to keep an eye on the pound news coming out soon. So I'll go through this relatively quick. USD news is going to come down a little bit. More patience, of course. Patience. Holy One, yeah, we can do a quick look at Euro and G on the 15 as well. I suck at taking notes, ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to record in some way though. Yeah, Francis, my biggest advice to you, my man, is make that your strength. If that's your weakness, make it your strength, man. Because it's the tedious side of trading. No one likes recording stuff. Everyone likes placing trades, managing trades, making money, even losing money, funny enough. But no one likes recording stuff. But if things are not working how you want them to, that's the best way to improve, knowing where you're going wrong. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Because people can give you tips and advice, but the best tip and advice you can ever get is on your own findings. Because I can give you advice, but it might not actually be that helpful. Because you might not actually be struggling so much in that department, or the advice I'll give you might not boost your results like knowing your data would do. In terms of USDs, so I'll be relatively quick for this one. I don't like the price action, to be honest. I did like the fact that it looks like we were getting a breakout, but we come back on ourselves, so that's not really a good sign. And now trading views starting to be slow, which is not good. But basically, off this information here, it looks like prices failed to take out that high. This is your equal lows, and that's your range. So if you're looking for a very short-term play, you might find some longs here for USDR as we do approach this consolidation. Now, this is not the best place for a trade because you are in the middle of the range, but of course it has given us a very considerable breakout. Price may test this area and give us a bit of a bounce, but I wouldn't be trading even back to highs. I think for about a day's worth of price action, and I'll be looking to get out of there because this is where the uncertainty lies. So if you're looking for opportunities for swing ideas, bigger trades, that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. Here, I understand short term, there's a nice structure at play, momentum at play. There could be a bounce. Maybe price creates new highs, but I wouldn't take that risk. The uncertainty is too high. So look to play the range, highs and lows. but that zone there, you can look for at least a short-term bounce, especially intraday. New Zealand CAD, looking very bearish as a whole. I mean, higher time frames, daily chart making lower lows and lower highs. Looks like intraday we're picking up that momentum as well. If we go to the daily chart here, very consistent. We've got this low here, which we could be gunning for long term. So we can keep that in mind. I probably wouldn't be looking to short all that way, but it's good to keep that in mind of where we could be heading towards. In terms of opportunities, we'll be looking for a pullback into, again, in terms of opportunities, still on the kind of more lower time frame horizon. I like the consolidation, strong breakout. If price could do something like this, one more push higher to go and sweep that high, I think that would be a very nice place to position yourself short, because we would test that zone there, take out this high, recover, and that would be a great place for a short, even just back to the low of this range, because things are quite choppy here. But this would be a nice place for an entry back to the low. Then if we can break through that, you can see some nice shorts there. But yeah, I would suggest, if you're looking to get involved with New Zealand CAD, either push there or maybe once we break through that support level, because if we can break through that support, then I think momentum will really pick up. But yeah, shorts look good either at the high or once we get that breakout. In terms of Euro USD 15 minute, I said some counter trend ideas look good with this one, because of course we've had that consolidation, now we've broken out intraday. So I would suggest some pullbacks and some long opportunities from that regard. Of course, this is counter trend. I'm still very bearish on euro dollar higher time frames, but we need that pullback. So it's not the best time to be shorting, and especially when we're looking like we're breaking out of a big consolidation with some force. I would bet on a bit more upside, but not here. We're a bit too overbought here. We need a bit of a correction here too. We haven't actually come back to retest this zone, so this looks like prime real estate for some entries, and we can take that higher. And as for pound USD, basically the same situation, although I do think pound looks a bit better. Ooh. Okay, didn't see that. Last time I looked at pound USD, we were still trading around here. I said if we can come back to retest this would be a nice zone to buy from. It still would be a nice zone to buy from, to be honest, even with us creating new high. I wouldn't look at the retest of this zone just because the breakout hasn't been big enough. I would need price to clear this zone a lot further before looking for the retest. But this is still a nice area to keep in mind. And again, with pound USD, I'm still very bearish on this one. Longer term, the reason why I'm looking at buys is the short-term play, taking advantage of that counter trend. So it's not because I'm switching bias. I'm very much bearish. You know, I'm looking at pullbacks to this zone for a lot more downside. Except I have to be very patient for that opportunity. But in terms of a pullback to this zone, that looks realistic, and you can take advantage of that intraday as we head higher. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Now let me get, looks like CADGen's recovering a little bit. Let me get the pound, we'll get pound yen and pound USD up, and we'll probably drop them to like a 15-minute time frame to see if there's any noise. Rates are coming out in about 2 minutes, so need to be a little bit speedy here. Okay, so this is pound yen on the 15. This is pound USD on the 15. So, let the fireworks commence. Again, the rates are expected to stay the same, so we shouldn't be seeing crazy behavior here. Unless, of course, they're not the same. Yeah, limit orders can help. I've always been a big fan of market execution. That's always how I've entered, but you can use limit orders. They can have a different dynamic in terms of chasing trades, in terms of actually placing your entries in your desired areas, because For market execution is always where price is, but limit orders is where you want to be. There are downsides, there are upsides. There's multiple ways to trade. If limits can help with the chasing of markets and just finding better entries, then it's definitely a way to experiment and see if you can improve your entries. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help, my man. Obviously, a big divide by members of the Bank of England. Yeah. Okay, the news is out. Interesting. So, a bit of a spike up and down. Ooh. Pretty big spike down. That is not looking good for pound at the moment. To be honest, I do want to spike higher because I want to sell pound. It's trading too low for me to sell it. So I would want price to spike higher. But hey, if it continues down, maybe I find some intraday pullbacks. If it does like this, break structure, give you some shorts tomorrow into the low there. Okay, that's looking pretty bearish there for pound yen. Huge move down. Interesting. What are the rates? Did they come out the same or did they change? Yeah, 4%, but the market's not liking that at all. Interesting. Okay, 045, is that what the 036 was the forecast? 6 to hold, 3 to cut. Okay, I see why then, because more people have preferred to cut, so they're a bit more bearish now. Still want to buy GJ, same, I still want to buy GJ as well. I mean, I'm not going to be looking to buy GJ because I'm still in CAD yen. But again, the reason why I want to buy GJ is because of yen weakness. If that changes, then of course I won't want to buy it anymore. But GJ might not be the best currency to be trading the yen against in this climate right now, especially with that outcome. It might be better to focus on another currency against the yen. Yeah, almost half the members now can't raise. Yeah, so that could mean a lot more weakness now for pound between now and the next decision. So that's from a fundamental point of view, that could provide some tailwind for pound to pound USD shorts. So in terms of pound USD, I don't think I'm going to get the pullback I'm looking for to that zone up there. I think it's 1.3325. Yeah, I won't be getting that pullback most likely. It looks like price just about tagged that low there. Yep. And now with this momentum, with this momentum, I would not be looking for those pullbacks I was mentioning before. A big part of those pullbacks is that we are corrective and slow. Because we picked up all this momentum here, I would not be looking to buy from this zone. we need to pull back like this to illustrate, you know, this is a likely a pullback, corrective momentum for us to continue. This is strong momentum. This is not what you want to see at all. So I'll let the news settle, because we still actually got a press conference later on today, in about 25 minutes. I would say at least wait for like maybe 1 o'clock UK time, which is about an hour from now. That will kind of give us a bit more of a settled picture of how price has reacted to the news. And especially if we're seeing force like that, especially breaking through this low, well, intraday, that for me is a very bearish scenario. And that probably means pullbacks later tomorrow. I probably wouldn't look for pullbacks today, but pullbacks maybe tomorrow, or if not early Monday, could look good for continuation back into this low. This could already be the lower high. But like I said, I'll wait for the candle on the hour to close at 1 and then judge that situation. Of course, we're looking exceptionally bearish right now. GJ looking pretty bearish. I expect pound to be doing that against pretty much all currencies. Pound against the CAD down, pound against the Swiss down. So yeah, pound reacting pretty weak right now. Yeah, pound Swiss down as well. So we'll see how that settles and then make the decision of that, because news can always fluctuate. You know, by the next hour, this could all be a big wick potentially. So yeah, we'll see what we can get there. Got a trade in Swiss yen, AJ, New Zealand yen. Okay, come heavy on the buys, Francis, for the yen pairs. I mean, I'm pretty bullish too. Maybe not as bullish as you though. But I'm looking at that direction as well. Look at euro pound. I'm guessing another big move there too. Yeah. Crazy move there. Oh, look at that. I was literally just talking about entries there early in the stream. The funny thing is, unless you entered earlier, there's no way you're going to get an entry now. And then you probably wouldn't have taken the trade either, because even if I did get a good entry here, I wouldn't want to trade euro pound on the 50-minute going into the Bank of England interest rates. Of course, it played out, but if it didn't, that could be a violent slippage against you. But yeah, nice move down euro pound. Anywho, we have approached the end of the stream. Exciting moves here. Again, I would wait for things to settle, give it a good hour, at least half an hour, but most likely an hour for things to settle, and that can paint the picture between now and the end of the week. Of course, I will be live again tomorrow, so we'll see what has happened, and we'll recap everything and probably set the tone going into the following week as well. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the message, Bash. If you guys have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe, it does really help. Share it with your friends, hit the bell. It does really help out. And of course, check out the channel memberships if you do want to support the channel further, and check out members only videos and trade ideas as well. So if you have enjoyed the stream, guys, drop a like before you leave. I do really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone tuning in. I will be live again later today on Trading Nick's channel, actually. So if you do want to head over to his stream in about, I think maybe 3 hours from now, I'll be live again with him on his channel. If not, I'll be live again on my channel tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I hope to see you all there. But guys, appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, team leader. Ori AI, fundamental analyst. XAU, AI, technical analyst. Mesa, AI, risk management specialist. Fenwa, AI market sentiment analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience XAU